Hello, welcome to my channel. It's Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and I've been struggling a bit this week trying to figure out what to do for videos and get my mind to focus. So I'm just going to do prompts today because that's something I know I can do. That's what I do when I'm stuck. I just pull out my prompts, and sometimes that helps. I mean, I have been doing stuff. It just doesn't always... I start doing something, I even have started making a video or two, and then I either continue on without videoing and then don't have a cohesive video, or I don't know, it's just been hard to focus this week, and sometimes I have weeks like that. So let's see, let's start with 4 prompts maybe. So I'm just going to pull off the top. Vegetable, red, blue, and repetition. Technically, vegetables don't exist. It's just something we gave a name to things. That's just a reel I saw one day. Let's see, a vegetable. How can I do a vegetable without... Whose idea was that one of Carrie's? So my prompts come from a couple lists. One is Carrie Griffiths, who is Carrie the Crafter. He has on his blog 100 perpetual prompts, and I have just some practice prompts on my Ko-fi page. All right, repetition, that's easy. Red and blue, that's self-explanatory there. And vegetable. Vegetable. That's gonna be a struggle. Well, let's just go ahead and start getting some paint on the page. I could do, I usually skip a page so that I don't get too much of a mess. Alright, I could go to the next page, but I don't have to. But it already has blue on it, so there we go. Blue is taken care of. Just need to add some red. And repetition, well, we're already halfway there with our prompts. I think I'm gonna pull out one more prompt because it's, all right, thread or fibers. Interesting. That gave me an idea though. So, oh my goodness, I've got thread just sitting right here. Why not? I'm gonna pull out some thread, and I'm thinking of just kind of doing some shapes that might kind of resemble a vegetable. A pumpkin is a gourd, but I'm calling it, or an apple is apple. I was thinking tomato, but I was like, no, that's fruit. And apple is a fruit too, for that matter. We have vegetables that are like round, right? Maybe this will just be like a, this will be kind of like cabbage or lettuce, like just an abstract. And I might do a few of them in thread on here. So, it's going to be an abstract cabbage or lettuce, just with the thread, and I will do 3 of them. And I don't know why I'm making it all perfect, because it's gonna, when I glue it, it's gonna change whatever anyway. Don't have to do 3. I can do 3 of something else sometime. So my easiest way to attach this is probably going to be with some matte medium, or white, or clear gesso, or white gesso. Either one, well, actually, would probably work too, because it's a primer but has a glue. That's matte medium. Well, or just even paint. We're just gonna use this matte white paint and just kind of get that on there with something, just whatever. That is getting chunky. I'm not totally sure if it's the containers or if it's that the paint, well, this paint's not as old. My gesso is old because I got it in like 2019. But the matte paint I just got last year, but it's also like a cheap matte paint, so yeah. So these are just abstract cabbage / lettuce / whatever. That's what these. That's my vegetable, and I'm sticking to it. With my dirty string that was on my dirty thread that was on my table. It got some inks on, everything got inks on it the other day. I kind of went crazy with my sprays. It was absolutely crazy. Alright, what if we do a smaller one in the middle here? And they're abstract, and they won't be green because I don't want to really necessarily do red, blue, and green. Although, if I mix, my red doesn't have, I just have to use red. It doesn't have to be like perfect. Alright, I want to get this just down in the, there we go. Down in the paint so it stays. For the most part. I don't know. That's the outside the box thinking that I do. No, it just looks like hair. And because my hair is white, it's kind of weird. Alright, this definitely needs more paint. But you'd think I could use some of the paint from over here. I've also got some texture over there because that paint is so thick. Just gonna do little ones. Just a little Brussels sprout up here. Trying to avoid like two big blobs basically, and then we're repeating it. Hey, look at that, more repetition. I'm all about the repetition. I've lost my, they're very abstract now. They're like so abstract, can't even tell what I was trying to do anymore. I was trying to do something more like that, but and then this will just be texture. We're just looking at texture. It's getting more abstract by the minute. I'm okay with that. And these are kind of moving and a grooving. Alright, I need to let this dry. And, I mean, I should let it dry. Am I gonna? No. Let's see, red. This one is crimson. That's a red. Let's go for it. And oh, I got new toys. I got these little brayers. It's a little set of 3 because I saw Trina using this one, and so I looked up 1/2-inch brayer, and I was like, oh, I can get these 3 for twice as much as the one. So you know, might as well go ahead and do it, and that would be fun because then you could do stuff like some line mark making that is imperfect. I got a lot of red out there. Yep, that's okay. We'll just use that in the rest of the book. And I like where it's mixing with the white a little bit and adding some more texture. And if I don't want it to look like flag stripes, I can just go both directions with it. Whoops. Or do curves. I don't have to go perfectly straight, do I? And repetition, kind of repeating the, I do think I want some down this way. And it's just an underlayer. We're not worried about perfection here. All right, I'm going to take my leftover paint there and grab another, oh, you know what? This journal has not even had anything happen to it yet. So, just need to break the blank page, really, is what I'm going to do with this red paint here. And then we can kind of see what we get using this interesting brayer. And we can even use a wider brayer too. Don't have to go straight every time. And so what happened was it started not going straight, and so then I was like, you know what, let's just do that on purpose. So now we have an interesting background there. And something happening here in the background. Oops. No whoops. Well, whoops, it just was kind of going off the rails even more than I might have wanted it to. Okay, there's still quite a bit of on that outside there. Just trying to, I mean, I could just wipe it off too, couldn't I? Just grab a paper towel and let's hope those pages don't stick together too badly. Keep that beside me. I don't normally clean my brayers, but this got a lot up on the side of it, so I figured I'd at least wipe it a little bit. Plus I want to make sure they're wiped off so they don't have texture building up on them, because that's not what I want them for. And this needs to dry. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, that is mostly dry. Things will move because it's not completely dry. Some of that red is pretty thick in some spots, and as I add more paint, the strings will get down some more. So I want to put down some of this blue. It's called Beach Glass. It's a like pale blue. Hey, it didn't say what kind of blue I had to use. I mean, it's no have to anyway. It's all for fun. And so I'm just gonna get some of that on there, and that will help it not go too patriotic by adding that other blue. And I don't mind that some of the red is getting in there. I'm just kind of also going where some of the thread has not attached so that I can attach it a little bit. Sometimes I think you guys, I don't know, I just assume you're like, okay, where are we going with this? Because I know it doesn't make sense right now. Doesn't to me either. But it's abstract. Does abstract really have to make sense? Also, I'm probably not totally in screen here. And I might pull another prompt because I'm not sure where I'm going. I've got my abstract cabbages. I'm just going with that. That's as close to vegetable as I'm gonna get. I don't want full on, hey look, we have vegetables on this page. So they're abstract. They're white cabbages and Brussels sprouts or whatever. Alright. Let's see, let's pull another prompt. I'll still work on the repetition. Whoops, oh shoot. Well, I guess insect. Maybe, well, I don't, yeah, that's 2 prompts. Junk mail. What do I have for junk mail? I think I have an envelope down here. Yes, I do. I got an envelope, so I'm going to use the inside of the envelope, the texture, the whatchamacallit here, and just kind of put it in a few places and glue that down. And that will be my junk mail. And the other thing was insect. We could go butterfly, dragonfly. This is fine. We'll just, I don't know what I'm just. I'm going to glue these down with art glitter glue so that they stay down. I wonder if I have any napkins with insects. Like what kind of insects? I don't know. I'll look through my napkins real quick. I'll glue these down and then check my napkins. Alright, so I've got some napkins to possibly play with. Of course, well, should dry more, but that doesn't mean that I will. I also am thinking of, I want to add some stamping of some sort. We've definitely got repetition going. We've got this repeating pattern, we've got the repeating red, this background was also repeating, and so we've definitely got the repeating part down. Alright, so when you use napkins, which most of you already have used napkins, but if you are new to using napkins, you should know, whoops, there are usually 2 to 3 layers. The top layer, the middle layer, and the back layer. Unless it's from Dollar Tree, then there's usually just 2. And sometimes getting those layers off can be tricky, so you just grab yourself a piece of tape and pull that layer. And this back layer will come in handy if I want to use like one of my stamps, because sometimes stamping on a surface that is bumpy is difficult. So I could potentially stamp on the tissue and then glue it down to get what I want. So I like that these were big, bold flowers. They're kind of a pinkish reddish, and will give me some, I think I like this over here. You can use a water pen, a lot of people do, to get this ripped so you have your, a lot of people, the reason we don't cut it is we just don't want to see that cut line, because even though this does mostly disappear on the page, it might not totally disappear on the page. So, you know, I'm just going to let it go. And I might even come from, I was going to come from the, what if I go in the middle? That's something I wouldn't normally do. Let's see. I've got golden matte medium. You can use Mod Podge, clear gesso, whatever. Whatever you want. I'm just going to use that along with a brush of some sort. I have one, because I washed them earlier today and then I set them to dry off to the side somewhere. You know, like you do. But I set my prompts over there. I'll never find them there. It took me a minute, but I found it. I can go ahead and glue that down better too. And yep, the red's still a little bit wet, so that's gonna move a little bit. That's alright. That is a lot. I don't need quite that much, but I can go ahead and get some of these. That is way too much. Some of these threads glued down a little better. And some of this as well. Some of this paper also could get glued down a little better. Kind of seal those edges a little bit. I know, it looks like a big mess, doesn't it? Well, maybe it'll be a big mess in the end, but you know what the important part is? That you have fun creating it, and sometimes being free is where the fun is, and not worrying about the outcome. Oops, well, I do probably not want quite that much paint on there. For the, you can also use the back of your napkin to dry your, brush. Because you don't want a lot of water on that. And if it's a little bit wrinkled, it just adds texture. Some people don't like the wrinkles. I know, well, but I've got the thread back there too, so it's gonna look wrinkled no matter what I do. So definitely not going to worry about it. If you don't want the wrinkles, yes, things are falling. I haven't gone back through and tidied yet. So things are everywhere. Because like I said, can't focus this week. Carrie, the crafter, he uses like plastic cling film, plastic wrap, cling film, whatever you call it in your country. and kind of gently puts that over there and presses down. Yep, I have a rip there. Not the end of the world. This will dry and look different when it's dry because, you know, that's how wet. And I probably would not have left that straight line there if I had noticed it, but I didn't notice it till just now. That's okay. We're not going to worry too much about it. So I'm going to add a couple more pieces of napkin and I'll be back. I am going to take care of that by just adding something that is not a perfectly, well, it can go upside down, but so I'm just going to add some book page. Oh my word, I'm like, I just had it. How far could it have gone? It didn't go far. It's just my brain. Yep, that's a lot of glue. I'm going to glue more stuff down though, I think, so. Just because. So over here where there's a big red blobby, looks like Carrie's been here basically. We're going to cover that too. We don't need a Carrie mess. If you know, you know. So just going to kind of spread this. It's got some, yep. Just looking like a bloody mess now, isn't it? It's alright, I'm going to add more stuff. That's what I do. I just keep adding until I like it. So things aren't always going to be exactly the way you plan them, if you plan them. I obviously did not plan any of this. I need a little bit more of something. Just... we have more repetition now too. We've repeated this paper. I know what you're thinking. When is it going to come together? I don't know when it's going to come together. It's just one of those. It's just one of those. All right. It definitely needs to dry. And then I'm going to add something, some more of something. Probably some gesso or white matte paint. Alright, I want to add some lines and I'm going to add them in green. This is fern green and it's permanent. I want permanent so it doesn't move too much, and I'm only using this one because I can't find my VersaFine one right now, but that's okay because I don't want a perfect impression anyway, and I'll get less of a perfect impression with the archival, and that will just help get something in the places where it's just really white and looking. Oops, that's plugged in. Sorry, my foot hit something. Alright, and now I'm going to cover my gel matte medium. Take my top-notch white matte paint and put some of that over here to be able to use. We're going to try. It gets, like I said, it's chunky. So it gets locked up in there. Because I thought these containers would be great, but they're not. They work fine for the glues, but not for the paints. Isn't that weird? That's weird. That's weird, right? I think it's weird. Alright. And you would think that I would use my finger, which I probably will end up, but I'm just gonna kind of start with a brush and just kind of take away some of these harsh lines. Get it lighter, darker, just kind of dry brush it some places. I got to get it too thick in places, so I got to take it off, put it on the brush, take it off the brush. And, you know. So I'm just kind of going around all the edges of everything and pushing everything into the background a little bit and see if I like it any better, because right now I'm not loving it, to be honest. I'm not McLovin' it. know that anybody is at this point, because it's not done yet. You know it's not done because you don't love it. If you don't love it, then it's definitely not a doner. So pushing things into the background can always be a good thing, a helpful thing. Like that red is just a little too in your face, so I'm just gonna get some of that out of our face. And I know that's right in the middle of a flower, but there was also that big red stripe which I didn't love. So even that green, that light green I just put on, can be pushed back just a little bit. So I kind of wipe it on and then I smooth it out. And I can even come back in, have those words come out just a little bit more if I want them to not be quite that far in the background. Let's see. I mean, you could even just cover the whole thing if you like really wanted to. Like if, like me, you just loved it so little that you just cover the whole dang thing. Just push it back, push it back, push it back, way back. All right, so now we have something different than we had, because that's what adding the white paint, any white paint that you've got, it could be even cream, it doesn't have to be white. Like I could even take another color now, which we've got some pink in there, so I might weirdly add a little bit of pink in here. I don't think that's, we'll add some white to that. I might even add just a little bit of red to that, because that is more peachy than pink right now. Just tiny bit. Put it to the side, and then we can add what we need to get it a little bit more rosy pink. There we go. Still darker than I want though. Where's the white? I want it super pale. I want it like a superhero pale. Like so pale that it got superpowers. That's what super means, right? I'm always saying super this, super that. I'm like, what do you mean, lady? Okay, we're just redecorating our prompts here. There we go. A little strawberry cottage cheese, because that paint was a little bit on the chunky side. Alright, I don't always do pink. So, well, whoops, that was unintentional here. Just gonna come in with this book real quick and just get some of that off the brush. This mix over here, we just gonna clean that off on here, because why not? Might come back with anything I have left over from the other pink too, but for now, that's what we're doing. Alright, palette knife I think I want for this. I'm just going to kind of give the page a border, I think. Also go in the middle some too, but I'm going to concentrate on the outside edges here. In a rough and not perfect manner. So now I know how to get the pink that I want. I can never seem to get a pink that I actually like. Whoops. But I think I like this one. So just use your pinks and add a little white and red to get what you really want. what you really, really want. If I run out, I might be annoyed because how do I make that exact color again? You don't. You just scrape some off of here and bring it to the edge over there and not worry about perfection. Okay. Just get some on there. I could protect my pages by putting something behind them. That would be, you know, the smart thing to do. Alright, so one side is a little heavier than the other side. We're going to be mostly okay with that. Try to bring some of it back over there maybe. Oh, maybe it's alright. Alright. So that needs to dry. So, you know what that means. I'll be back. Where's my crackle stamp? So here we are now, and it's a lot of pink, so I'm going to add back some more of that beach glass. Apparently we're going for like a, I'm kind of going for old wall look now. I mean, I wasn't going for anything at first, and now I'm like, the more we do, the more we might get like, kind of like, you know, layers of wallpaper, whatnot. Kind of a deal happening. And texture, tons of texture. I'm gonna have to buy myself some more of this beach glass. I don't know. It's one of my favorite craft paints is the beach glass color. Well, it's got texture. It's not good necessarily staying in between the thing, but that's because I'm doing it so thick for one, and using a palette knife. So, you know, if I wanted it to come out perfectly, then I would use like a sponge or whatever. But I'm just trying to get color and texture on there basically. There we go. That's gonna take some time to dry, isn't it? Let's just go ahead and press that down there. And maybe there a little bit. Just get some more of that blue on there. Just pushing back the pink a little bit. And then I gotta find my damask, one of my damask stencils. Who knows where they are? They're all over the place. I know I have some. I have 9 to be exact. I probably have more than that, but yeah, I didn't even find the ones that I printed that aren't in the shop. I mean, that I cut. So, letting that dry. I'll be back after it's dry. Of course, I could not find my damask stencils. They are probably in a pile somewhere mocking me. Just all together in a little pile that I just put off to the side somewhere. Just totally mocking me. I'm trying to decide if I want to do brown or black here, basically, is where I am now. I might even just kind of do a mix, sort of, maybe. Just kind of, because I want black, but I don't necessarily want, oh look, we're starting to decorate the outside of that, whether it's on purpose or not. There we go. Just gotta get some paint on it eventually. I just had my little brush. Seriously, I did. I just had it. This is still a little bit wet. And I've been looking for a while for stuff, so alright, we're just gonna, ooh, the big one will be a little easier anyway. So I'm gonna kind of brown and black and just all get a little darker on some. I don't want it perfect. I just kind of want an idea of this is wallpaper. She says she doesn't want it perfect, and then she tries to line things up perfectly, which is virtually impossible. There we go. Okay, we're not going to worry about it now, because now we're in the middle. Didn't worry about it in the middle, and I'm not necessarily worried about it now. I just kind of want it to be. And you can see I'm not doing the whole stencil. I'm not trying to get it perfect. I am trying to line it up. That's not the same as getting it perfect. just like to point that out right there. That's just me trying to line it up. All right. Oh, here we go. This will work. This is tedious, I realize. Oh, I was down here more? Well, not that far. Oh, yeah, okay. There is where I was. So there is where I am. Here we go. Alright, so now we've got some damask on there in an imperfect manner, a little, mostly black, a little bit of brown tucked in there. That kind of gives you a little something more to look at now. Definitely got, you can still see the string back there, the thread. This paper's coming up a little bit. I can just glue that down, not a problem. So I still have insect left as one of the prompts. I've got blue and red, even though they're way in the back, or they're toned down with, you know, lightened up with white. So there is red in there, and the flowers had some red. You can't really see the flowers anymore. I'm okay. That's in the red. You know, it's there. There's little bits of yellow showing through here. So now the bugs. I had a bee that I had cut out that has now disappeared. That's okay. I will just put it on. Oh, maybe not that. Alright, so this is medical paper that was recommended by Jackie Bernardi. And I've got my fingerprint on it, because that's fun. But it disappears fairly well. And then Trina wets it to really make it disappear. So I'm going to do, there's a shiny side and a not shiny side. I'm going to stamp on the not shiny side. And not do it on the page in case it goes through the paper. Which, you know, sometimes it does because it's thin paper. Because trying to stamp on this would be pretty much very difficult to do. And let's see, maybe if I do a ghost print, it will not run so much on the, unless I do that. That was dumb. It's not thrilled about what's happening with the foot there, but I'm also not going to take all day to do this. So gonna rip it out so I don't have straight edges, and we'll see how well it disappears. Because I've heard that this is the one that disappears the best of all the. So I have sort of a more white space here for it. And I don't really want to put it right in the middle, but I do want it straight. I'm going to put it here. Yeah, I like that. Alright. So, Trina wets it to make it disappear. So, you wet the back of it. I'm assuming she wets the back of it. I don't know. I mean, it's permanent ink, but it might not be totally dry yet. So, and of course, my thing is empty. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Probably want to get your glue on there before you wet it, because it's going to be a little bit harder to maneuver once it's wet. I was putting it here, right? Right there. Right here, right now. Do, 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 do. Okay. Now you just have to be careful when it's wet, because it's wet. But this is my test because I think Jackie used the gloss. She had the most disappearance when she used the gloss matte. This is the gloss medium. This is the matte. And I wet it. It does not totally disappear, at least not yet, but blends in enough. And what Pepto-Bismol looks like in that. This is a very pink page, isn't it? It's a very Judge Bridgerton. You'll be like, yep, Featherington and Bridgerton combo. Although there's some yellow in there too. So yeah, so there's my insects. I think I got all the prompts, and it may not be perfect, and I'm okay with that. I'm not adding anything more. I'm just gonna leave. Am I gonna leave it? I know I'm not gonna leave it. Do I know? I think this is iced spruce. Is that what I want? Maybe. I'm just gonna kinda grunge it up a little bit, I guess. It's too pretty. I mean, it's, you know, needs a little bit of grunginess. So just gonna kind of add some of that. And this is a Distress Crayon. It is water soluble, so when I wet it, it moves. Probably if I wet it again later, it'll move again. Also, you can just use your finger and it'll smudge, but I'm doing the wetting now just to get it there. I might do another half wet, half smudge kind of a deal. Just kind of framing out my corners is kind of sort of what's happening. Maybe a little bit more on the edge here. Could even just, you don't have to spray your whole thing if you're worried about re-wetting things too much. You can just use a brush and water to get that more. There we go. Well, I guess we're going for a whole vignette now, aren't we? I think I already did over there. There we go. Dirtied it up with some iced spruce, which is kind of a darker version of the Seafoam, or grungier version. So that is my art journal page for today. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That's all my brain can handle at this moment. So, using the prompts. Where are the prompts? I know we had vegetable, which is abstract and in the background. And we had insect, which we've got those bees. And red and blue were also prompts. The prompts have disappeared on me. Oh, here they are. Junk mail. Oh yeah, we've got some junk mail. Thread or fibers. I think that's all of them. Used quite a few prompts today. Because we can use whatever prompts we want. Oh, here was the bee. That was the bee I was thinking about putting on there. I cut them out and everything. But I kind of like that better. Alright, I hope you guys have a delightful day. Go have fun. Go play. Love you.